Welcome to day one of the Scaling Mini Course by Ascend Growth Ventures. First of all, let me thank you for being part of the community. I hope you're getting a lot out of being here in this community. If you haven't done so already, introduce yourself, tell us what you do, what you expect to get out of being in this community, and just participate. Just be part of the community because that's how we all learn. So my name is Cruz Gamboa, and I am the CEO and founder at Ascend Growth Ventures. And I'm going to be your host today. So this is a 6-day series training that starts today. So today's day one. And we've created this course with you, the founder, the CEO in mind, because we believe that by the end of this course, you're going to experience a transformation. And the transformation is actually very simple. The transformation is for you to be more aware of where you are in the scaling journey. What are some of the bottlenecks that you're experiencing today? And what are some of the tools and frameworks that you can take to start scaling with more precision and more confidence? So my invitation to you, and actually it's sort of my request to you, is that by the end of each day, you take one idea and think of how you could implement it in your business, because this is what's really going to activate your scaling journey, is going to take it to the next level. So here we go. Let's just start. So you may be wondering if this is the right training for you. And if you have at least $1 million in revenue, if you feel like you're stuck at the moment, maybe you hit a growth ceiling, maybe you're just looking for more clarity on how to run the business, on how to generate more cash flow, and maybe have a way to retain your employees better. Maybe you are too much in the weeds in the daily operations, right? And you're looking to introduce systems that can scale without you having to be in the middle of everything. And if you're purpose-driven, if you care about people, profits, and planet, and you're ready to lead like a true CEO, this is the right training for you. So this is what the training looks like. We're going to be covering 6 different topics during the next 6 days. Today, we're going to start with the 4 core pillars of scalable growth. That is the main framework that we use in order to help our clients scale their business. We are going to talk about vision and mindset on day one. This is one of the most important conversations we're going to have. Then we're going to get into financial infrastructure, strategy and execution, intelligent leverage, and then we're going to talk about how we build the system. So each video is going to take between 10 and 15 minutes, no more than that. There's going to be a little bit of work for you to do at the end of each day. It's super simple. It's not a lot of stuff, and it's really meant to get you to start thinking about the concepts that we learned that day. I like to start my presentations by showing this statistic because it really blows my mind. It's really one of the reasons why I started to specialize in helping clients to scale beyond $10 million. And the reason being that only 0.5% of US companies scale beyond 10 million. And by the way, only 6% of all companies in the US scale beyond $1 million. So I would say that if you are already in the $1 million club, you've done something that is actually quite remarkable. You beat basically 94% of all other American companies in creating something of value. And maybe right now, even though you understand that that's actually pretty impressive, it doesn't feel like that because maybe you're working harder than ever and things are just not working. Maybe you feel like you're in the middle of everything. The business kind of runs through you. You have to make every decision. Nobody takes any initiative in your company. Or maybe you're experiencing growth issues. So to be able to generate any type of growth year over year has gotten increasingly harder. And you've heard this quote before that what got you here won't get you there. And you kind of see yourself reflected in that statement. You know that there's some truth to it and you are ready to take the next step and do something about it. What I want you to know is that what you're experiencing right now is absolutely normal because it is what I call growing pains. Something happens when you have outgrown the first version of your company. That company that was sort of in survival mode, trying to prove that you had a product, that you were going to be able to attract clients to buy from you, that you were going to be able to deliver on the promises that you made, on the product that was being bought, or the thing that you needed to innovate on, right? And then all of a sudden, you start gaining momentum, you start creating sort of a flying wheel, and then things start to slow down and you get to $3 to $5 million and everything becomes increasingly harder. You start having more employee turnover, you start having growth issues. Every dollar of incremental growth becomes that much harder to get. You kind of run out of place and run out of ideas. Potentially, you start having problems on the delivery side. Okay, so maybe the product or the service that you're delivering it starts having quality issues. So now you're spending all of your time fixing all the drama around your company and not really having enough time to grow your company. So this is what we call the $3 to $10 million scale map. And I am here to bring good news. There is a way out of this maze, but it involves going through what I call an identity shift. So when you started, that person that was the firefighter, working every angle and every detail of the business, being in the middle of every decision, needs to eventually graduate into the architect of your new $10 million business. Because in order to be a $10 million CEO, you need to design systems, introduce new processes, hire the right people, design the right organization structure, give them values, give them a vision. You have to delegate and empower your team in order to scale to the level that you want to achieve. So that, my friends, that is what the transformation is that needs to happen in you. So we have a principle that we follow here at Ascend Growth Venture, that in order to scale the company, we have to scale the founder. So think about that for a second and ask yourself this question. Are you being the firefighter, the operator, or the architect of your business? So now I want to share with you the framework that we use to help you achieve that transformation and scale your company. The framework is called the 4 core pillars of scalable growth. And it all starts with vision and mindset. Why? Because when you have a clear vision of the future, it not only energizes you, but it energizes your team. That vision becomes the North Star of everything that you're going to do and you're going to build in your company. And strategy is, in a way, is going to reveal itself, because now we have a clear vision that everybody understands. Then we work on what are the mindset blocks that you are experiencing today. What are the beliefs that you have, the fears that you have, the stories that you're telling yourself that are really getting in your own way for you to be able to grow your company. So this is why it's so important that we get this part dialed in first before we move on to the next phase, which is financial infrastructure. And you're going to ask me, well, why don't we talk about strategy before we talk about financials? And it's very simple. To scale a company, you're going to need cash. You're going to need cash because you need maybe to invest in marketing, maybe to hire new people, maybe to build new systems, maybe to be able to let go of certain product lines that are non-profitable and taking too much attention from when it's important. We need to have clarity on where is the cash coming from and how we're going to be able to pay for the growth of the company. Then after that, when we get that dialed in, then we talk about strategy and execution. And this is probably the one that you're going to feel most comfortable with, because it's probably what you do or what you want to be working in most of your days, right? So in here, what we really want to do is we want to figure it out. What is the client that you want to serve? What are the offers that we're going to put in front of them? What makes you different? What are your core competencies that are going to allow you to differentiate from everybody else? And what are the KPIs and metrics that we have to put in the business in order so that we can really track your performance and your progress towards that vision of the company or that strategy that you're trying to implement? And then finally, once we do all of that, then we want to augment that work through intelligent leverage. And intelligent leverage is really 4 things. It's people, systems, technology, and network. So we're going to talk about all of that, because that you need leverage in order to expand the output of what your team does, and in order to be able to automate workflows and really just have more capacity with less people. So just really to gain productivity and basically get yourself out of having to be in the middle of everything. So that is the 4 core pillars of scalable growth. And there's a really important concept that we're going to be using as we scale your company, which is called the power of focus. So instead of having several products, several types of clients, several markets that you want to pursue, we're going to actually do less, not more. We're going to find the right niche, the right market, the right product, and then we're going to pick the one metric that we're going to use as our North Star, And then we're going to put one goal for the whole team. And then after that, we're going to run every quarter as if we were running mini sprints, mini campaigns on a quarterly basis with very specific metrics and goals and intentions. That's how we're going to be running your company in the future. And it takes a little bit of courage to start doing things differently. So we're eventually going to have that conversation about mindset. How do we get comfortable that that is the way to do it? But if you have been paying attention, everybody is telling you to focus. So this is what we're going to do. So I wanted to introduce you to this concept of the ascent impact equation. And it's basically what this is measuring is how much impact we can create in our business, in the world for that matter. And it is a combination of leverage and mindset. Mindset being the factor, the exponential factor that is going to take our leverage to the next level. So I just wanted to go a little deeper in this concept of leverage because it is that important. First, I wanted to talk about people leverage. When we talk about people leverage, what we're really talking about is just having a team, a leadership team that is able to operate just like you. They think like you. They basically follow your values and the values of the organization, but it doesn't require your presence for them to make decisions and to really lead the team into execution. So that is the ultimate goal that we want to accomplish when we talk about people. When we talk about systems, it's a little different, but it's basically creating processes that deliver the results that you need for your organization and that don't require your constant oversight and involvement. So when we say systems, it's not necessarily technology. We're really talking about the system for selling, the system for delivering, the system for onboarding, etc., right? And then when it comes to technology, it is a very important lever because if you have systems that are standard and are followed by the team, then you can think about automating or improving them, and you can run analytics on those processes. And most importantly, you can start leveraging the power of AI to amplify the work that you do through your systems. And then finally, one of the often overlooked lever is network. So the strength of your relationships is really what's going to establish or dictate the quality of your results. So having those strategic alliances, those groups that you're a part of, masterminds, associations, and then what advisory relationships do you have? Do you have a good coach, a mentor, a business advisor that helps you in the process of creating the results for your company? So these are the 4 types of leverage that every founder must master as they're scaling their company. The reason being is because they add up. The stacking up on all of these levers is going to result in you being able to deliver exponential growth, exponential results. It's going to allow you to make better decisions, and it's going to allow you to claw back some of the time that you're spending today operating in the weeds, in the day-to-day, and trying to fix everybody's problems across the company. So this is why we want to create leverage in the organization. So with that, I think we talked about some really important things today. There's one action for you to take. I invite you to take the Scaling Readiness Scorecard. And why is because you are going to be able to identify with more evidence whether you're operating as a firefighter, an operator, or an architect. And then also it's going to allow you to self-diagnose which of the 4 pillars you are the strongest or the weakest. So that's also something that we're going to use. We're going to use that information for the next segments of this training. So with that, we conclude with day 1. I am so excited to have you here today. I hope you found some value in the things that we shared today. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and continuing this journey together with you. And remember, life is good. Let's build it.